I know the people of Turkey had themselves a grand night.
Kelly out of the corner for three.
Brady at the buzzer. Yeah!
Free. Down to three. Down to two. It's a three. Good! Good! James Harden a flamethrower. Sengun.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
The Rockets fall to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the season opener on Tuesday night. It was a great game, went to double overtime, but the Rockets fall 125-124. This is Red Nation Radio, presented by Wheelhouse Media. I'm Spencer Nolan, joined by my co-host Harley Dugan. Harley, what are the vibes you're feeling right now after this loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder on banner night for them?
Yeah, it's game one of the NBA season. Hell of a kickoff, by the way. Shout out to the NBA getting this right. The vibe right now, I'm kind of excited about what we're going to be able to see the rest of the 81 games moving forward, man. If this is what we're getting, we already knew we had some young dogs on this team, but to give the defending NBA champs a run for their money, granted, no Jalen Williams, what's his boy Anthony Edwards say? They don't got what's his face, but we got Jaden McDaniels.
Yes,
they didn't have Jalen Williams, but we didn't have Dorian Finney-Smith.
That's true. That's true. And for the record, we didn't have Amin Thompson for a lot of overtime.
Yeah, I know we'll get into that as well too. Look, I'm pretty excited right now. Despite the loss, I would have loved a win going double OT. There's some stuff there. Would have loved KD to drain that other free throw, to put you up a three, and there's a lot to get into, man. I can't wait.
I think Kevin Durant's going to be kicking himself a lot tonight, not only for that moment, but of course the game-winning free throws from Gilgeous-Alexander were his sixth foul, where he fouled out, and he knew it in that moment. He shouldn't have jumped. You could see it in his face. He looked so pissed off at himself, but that was exciting stuff. I will say this though, one of my biggest takeaways was maybe he was just trying to get used to this new core that he's playing with, but I didn't feel like Kevin Durant really took over in the second half like a lot of us were expecting. They showed the stat that he only had one field goal at 1 point deep into the fourth quarter, and that's what the Rockets traded for him for, right? Was to be the fourth quarter closer, and he was really more like the starting pitcher for us, to make a baseball analogy, and he kind of just passed over to Sengun, who, man, if that three ball is legit, Harley, if that three ball is legit, there's going to be problems in the NBA.
Yeah, I was already talking about just the two-man game between Alperen Sengun and Kevin Durant. But Sengun just decides he's going to throw up a masterclass on prime time. You speak of the three-point ball, 5 for 8 and 3-point percent. I mean, career high. I was like, no, Sengun, what are we? Yes, I love it.
I started wanting him to shoot more of it, though.
Yeah, the shot selection I thought was a bit odd, but it kept going in. So I said, someone take his temperature right now. My goodness. And then he had the banked N1. Oh my goodness, Sengun.
He's been working out with Kevin Durant there. You can tell. You're starting to see shades of Kevin Durant in some of these guys, and that's all they've done is work out on the offseason, man.
I'll take it. But to your point with Kevin Durant, and I was going to get into this, and I know it's only game one. We got 81 games left, but I'm kind of right there with you. I was going to say I was a bit underwhelmed, and that might be a little bit of an upsetting take for Rockets fans, but it's only game one. I'm expecting a whole lot. The expectations are high with Kevin Durant.
Yeah, and it's okay. We're allowed to overreact. This is the first episode after the first game. We're allowed to overreact. All right, we have 81 more of these, and let's be honest, if the score was flipped and the Rockets won 125-124. We would be way more overreactive than we are even right now.
Yeah.
I will say this too, though. Even though Kevin Durant was a little bit underwhelming, man, his impact was felt heavily on offense in the first half. But I was very impressed with his defense in the second half. He was very, very involved, and he was picking up Shea a lot of it. I know we mentioned that he was the one that got the foul on the final play of the game, but he was the one that was picking up Shea. And that's a tall task. And, we're talking about Kevin Durant in his late 30s picking up the defending MVP. I think people underestimated what Kevin Durant was going to bring defensively because everyone was so excited about the shot making, right? But he fits seamlessly into this team. I just want to see him take more of a killer instinct as we go forward. But I think that really was just first game with the new group. Let's just kind of ease into things, and then they'll turn it around, and they'll get it to him in crunch time going forward. I think.
Yeah, and to that point, I think that's kind of goes two ways as well too, because not only did I thought Kevin Durant could have been a bit more aggressive, I also thought the Rockets could have been a bit more aggressive in feeding him the ball. I
I
mean,
agree.
Kevin Durant, he's like a cheese play in Madden. I mean, you just spam the cheese play,
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just it works.
The
KD
mid
is a
range is a layup.
walking Exactly. He's a walking bucket, man. He still had 23 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 for 3 and 3 points. My biggest pet peeve, you mentioned when he got fouled out. And my biggest question mark, and I understood that, okay, you wanted to get some length on SGA. You're risking Kevin Durant there with 5 fouls.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'm looking at, okay, well, if you wanted length, then there's Tari Eason. You could have thrown that too, who did a phenomenal job forcing double OT with the block on SGA. You also had Josh Okogie, depending on how you feel about it.
I'd say he looked like a minimum player tonight. But I want to circle back to Tari Eason a little bit. He had a rough night, 1 for 6 from the field. Did not really handle the ball well in a lot of situations. It does show up on defense. His scrappiness is something that is very valuable, but I'm just say this. One of my biggest takeaways looking at this Rockets game as a whole was, and I think many will say this and will agree with this, is they need point guard play to improve dramatically. Reed Shepherd, I don't know, might be just one game, but that wasn't looking like it's got much promise there for him to develop as a starting point guard for this team. And with the news on Monday that the Rockets are far apart on an extension with Tari Eason, and now he will become a restricted free agent. I don't know, Harley. Talk me off the ledge. Is it worth exploring what Tari Eason and some draft picks could get you in the point guard market? That could be the textbook overreaction after game 1. But I don't know. I was kind of thinking it before the season when the Fred VanVleet news came down. And when the news came out that he didn't get his extension done, I don't know. The thought crossed my mind. What do you think?
That's rather interesting, I will say, because when you look at trade options for the Houston Rockets, there's literally none because of the money financially, and you're pretty much strapped right now.
That's if they decide to keep everyone. Tari Eason is one of the few tradable assets that they have. That's what I'm saying. You're backed into a corner, and I see a guy that's going to be a restricted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Do we really want to wait until I think it's like sometime in December that Rockets can add to their roster financially? I mean, I don't know. That's only a month, but it's also a month. That's a month of basketball. Again, one game. Don't want to overreact too much, but I don't know. It's a thought that I've got noodling around up here.
Definitely, there's some truth to it, because not only did Rockets fans observe this, but you could hear Jamal Crawford and Reggie Miller on the broadcast as well mention. Like there was multiple offensive possessions where they just looked lost and they just looked confused, and it's like, okay, guys, you got to bring the ball up, by the way.
And that was a struggle a lot of the night.
Yes. And you mentioned Reed Shepherd. He didn't, just as game 1, he just didn't look like a point guard to me. Mm-hmm. He looks like someone that is a JJ Redick kind of role, and just a 2 guard that's short 2 guard.
He reminded me of Jeremy Lin at times tonight. That was the vibe I was getting from him was Rockets Jeremy Lin is what I was witnessing.
Wow.
The shot, we want the shot to be JJ Redick, but I'm not sure it's there yet. He's got me feeling more like Jeremy Lin right now.
I'm hoping it gets there, of course.
Me as well.
Because when he did get in the game, it took a few minutes, but that first 3 smoothed down down the bucket.
And he shot it with confidence, and we like that part of it.
Yes. That's the biggest one, is shooting it with confidence. And that's where Reed Shepherd could continuously get better at. But his ball handling, his bringing it up the court and trying to run that is not what I saw, at least game 1. I'm hopeful that it could improve, but there is some chew there. Tari Eason and a few picks. Who would you even entertain to grab as a point guard to come over to this team?
Someone, the name that's been floated around a bunch, just like in pipe dream trade machine ideas. There are 2 names that I looked at all offseason: Drew Holiday with the Blazers, and Derek White would be the Moby Dick great white whale. If the Rockets could trade Tari Eason and some picks for Derek White, I mean, honestly, I think they probably would have already done that by now if that was really on the table. But I would do that in a heartbeat. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Now, there's definitely, you mentioned 2 guys, and just coincidentally, they have the connections to Ime Udoka. And so The Drew Holiday one actually makes a lot of sense. And I know this is having to wait into the season, but there's always a buyout market.
That's true
But
too.
we're only looking at game one, and we're looking at a game one where the point guard just there was none really.
Yeah, but we're allowed to overreact. We are going to overreact. That is what we're here to do.
Fred VanVleet, man, we miss him.
Yeah,
We miss him.
his presence was definitely missed tonight for sure. The guy that started at point guard, Amin Thompson, though,
Yes.
he was looking fantastic before he did leave with the injury. I'll say this, Harley. I liked that he was shooting the three ball with confidence. However, I don't need to see 7 Amin Thompson three-point attempts a game. I could do with way less than that. He had 5 at halftime. I think 5 needs to be his absolute maximum per game, even if he hits the first 2. I think we need to back that down a little bit. I love the confidence, though, but let's chill out a little bit.
Yeah, I'd love to add some of his confidence to Reed Shepard and Tari Eason.
Correct.
Because there was times, Tari Eason, boom, I believe it was Kevin Durant or it might have been Sengun, one of them two. They cut straight to the hole. They kick it out to Tari, and he doesn't shoot the 3, pumps fakes, he loses the ball. And I'm like, Tari, you got to shoot the 3, man. But back to Amin, you're not wrong, man. Unless you're feeling it, like Sengun was feeling it today, 5 for 8. He attempted 8 of them things, man. Amin Thompson, 0 for 7. I'm not. Look, I love his confidence. I'm right there with you, but man, 7 3-pointers attempted for a guy that's not known, 22%, I believe it was, or whatever.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. And I'll say this. I still believe that he can fix that, and I still think he can. Being a respectable shooter, it still might not happen this year. It still might not happen this year. I think it's happening for Sengun, though. I think we've seen it. It just looked different tonight. And again, one game, we're overreacting. We're having a good time, even in an L. I don't believe in moral victories, but when it's Kevin Durant's first game as a Houston Rocket, gelling with his new core, I'm going to take some moral victories, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
Yeah, no, I do agree with you there. Look, Amin's only 22 years old, so I'm right there with you. He's still got plenty of time left to improve the 3-point shot for sure. I love the confidence. There was multiple times we saw him where I'm going, man, why don't they give the ball to KD? And Amin's like, don't worry, I got you. And it's just, I'm going to go to the basket. No one can stop me, and I'm going to spin, and I'm going to lay it up because nobody can stop me. Yeah. And my goodness, it was working. And then he had a poor shot selection right there where they couldn't get the ball to KD. They couldn't get the ball to Sengun. Amin takes it. He rolls to his left, spinning, fadeawaying, and it falls short, and it just didn't look very pretty. And that was a very crucial attempt late in the game. That one hurt me a bit because I'd rather the ball go to 7's hands in the final seconds of the game.
Yeah, but as we said at the beginning, a part of that's also on KD for not kind of being more aggressive and kind of demanding it. But again, all of this is being said about a 1-point loss to the defending champs on their banner night. It would have been fun to spoil that, but that always kind of felt like, that's going to be a Thunder victory. Rockets got a chance to bounce back. Their next game is, I believe that's Thursday or Friday night against the Pistons at Toyota Center. Kevin Durant's official home debut. I think they can bounce back, get in the win column there at home. Kevin Durant's going to feel the vibes of H-Town. I know it's Cade Cunningham coming to town, but Jalen Green's not here anymore. It probably doesn't have the same feeling for him. So I like the Rockets in that one, Harley.
Jalen Green, man, when he plays Cade Cunningham in the Pistons, hit the over. That's true, man.
That's true.
He's man on a mission. But, hey, no, you're right, man. 24th on a Friday. The Rockets, Kevin Durant's debut here in Houston in that Rockets, white. But I was going to say Rockets red, white. But regardless, the debut is going to be hyped, man. Cade Cunningham's coming here with the Detroit Pistons. Should be another solid game. There's no easy wins, but Pistons, solid basketball team, made it to the playoffs, first time in a while behind Cade Cunningham. They did add Duncan Robinson, so, they are feisty.
Yep.
We'll
Evil
see.
Twin on the other side.
True. Azure. Shout out to Azure Thompson. Hopefully we get a answer around Amin Thompson. I'm sure it's just the cramps. I know that's the last I saw was that he had some really bad cramps and he couldn't re-enter the game. I'm hoping that's it, man. That's all I'm hoping for.
Going to be glued to the phone this week for that, for sure. That's going to be a very important update. But Harley, anything else before we wrap this bad boy up?
Sengun is a monster.
Yeah.
That's just the final words right there, man. The dude just decides, I'm going to drop 40. I'm going to have fun doing it. And you know what? I'm going to take some threes and laugh at your face. And
Yes.
I know the people of Turkey had themselves a grand night.
They stayed up late for this one and they got rewarded for it. But Sengun, he's poised for a big season playing next to Kevin Durant. But that is the first episode of Red Nation Radio. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe, and make sure you are subscribed to Wheelhouse Media for all of your H-Town sports needs. We'll see you next time.